What's up, brother?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Excellent, excellent. Hollering at you from the DMV.
Okay.
So, been following you for a long, long time.
I was just in the DMV.
on my Kwame Brown ain't a bus tour with my family. They're like, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
It's all good.
But moving on. I love the fact that you're talking about the coding and the trading.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of background. I'm the former senior network engineer for the White House or executive office of the president.
Oh, man.
Did that for a few years. Worked at DHS, few other, 3-letter government agencies, up here. But you are completely on point about the IT field being the future. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily, coding is just one aspect of it, like the gentleman before me just mentioned. But there are other certifications out there in the IT field that people can get and can, like you said, can start making money immediately. Mm-hmm. I have a 16-year-old daughter. Like most kids, all over the place.
Yeah.
One thing I think that parents need to understand with their children is that everything they know about life right now, you can put on a pinhead. And so when they're saying, I don't want to do this, or I'm not interested in this, sometimes you just got to say, you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to do it because I know what's best for you.
Yeah.
I grew up in an era where your parents told you, go to school, get good grades, you're going to college. Yeah. They didn't know about coding or trade schools or anything like that. You can go right now and spend about $5,000 to take a course and come out making $50,000, $60,000, $100,000. I got some notes here, my little whiteboard. At Harvard, they have free courses right now at Harvard for introduction to game development, web programming with Python and Java, artificial intelligence with Python. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there for free. These are 12-week courses offered by Howard University. Harvard, not Howard. I went to Howard. We're offered by Harvard.
Shout out to both of them.
Shout out to both. But there are, various certifications. If you have a public library card, in many cities, they are attached to what's called lynda.com, which is LinkedIn Learning, which normally costs like $30 a month if you buy a subscription. But if you have a public library card, you get access to all these courses for free. So it's over, 20,000 courses. So somebody wants to learn about photography, web design, coding, Cisco, Microsoft certifications, but there's all these certifications that are out there. I actually pulled a stat for the state of Maryland.
That's what I'm talking about.
That says computing occupations are the #1 source of all new wages in the United States and make up 2/3 of all projected new jobs in STEM fields, making computer science one of the most in-demand college degrees. But you don't have to go to college. As a former hiring manager, the first thing we looked at, is your certifications and your job experience before we looked at whether you had a degree. You have a certification in, in server, Microsoft servers. Do you have a certification in Cisco routers? Do you have a CCNA, CCNP, all those other things? But these courses, you can go, for a few weeks, like the gentleman said, and you can come out making, thousands of dollars. When I first got into the field in the late 90s, I was unemployed. Went to the course. After the first 30 days, the instructor was like, you all are now employable. I was like, yeah, right. You're full of it. So I started sending my resume out. I sent it out on a Tuesday at 12, had an interview scheduled by 2:30. By Thursday, had an interview, and Monday they were hiring me for $43,000 a year after 30 days. And, a few weeks after that, they bumped that salary up because the contract changed. So a lot of times when these contracts change, you move on with the new company, get a raise. So within like 2 months, went from 43 to 50, you know, and, you know, steadily, of course, progressed from there. But like, I'm back to my daughter for a moment, and I wanted to share this because it's based on, you know, some of the stuff that you've been talking about. I told her, by the time you graduate from high school, I want you to have an IT certification. I don't care what it's in.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, once you finish, I want you to go learn some skill, learn how to do something with your hands. Okay. You can be an electrician. You don't have to be an auto mechanic and be lifting up cars and all that stuff. You don't have to be, you know, doing any of that, but learn how to do something with your hands. But number three, by the time you're 21, I want you to own your first apartment building with a minimum of 10 units. That way you live in 1 or 2 units and let everybody else pay your mortgage.
Yeah. I just sold a 10 unit. Never mind. Shut up, Kwame.
You should have called me. We could have put it in her name. But
I know what I'm talking about. I'm crazy, like they say.
Right. If everybody thinks I'm crazy until I'm right. But you know, if your housing and your transportation needs are taken care of, you don't need to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you can travel, you can do it. If your housing and your transportation needs are established and you're making like $5,000 a month, you're living like a king or queen.
Yep. I have a friend out in Cali. She bought she lives in one of the apartment units that she purchased. She took out a loan and purchased the whole building, stays in one, and now she travels. She's having a good time, you know, and that's what it's about. Yeah,
I'm sure she complains about the landlord along with everybody else.
She's the landlord. Exactly. Yeah. She mad about the different rules that they have out in Cali because they got some different rules as far as renting and as far as getting people out. So boy,
and
yeah, so, I can't handle those rules. I'm going to Florida.
And I mean, and somebody did in the chat about blockchain development. And so blockchain development is something that's up and coming in this cryptocurrency world. I'm in the cryptocurrency world, but on a different side. I have the cryptocurrency ATMs. So you can go to my ATM and buy and sell cryptocurrency. So as opposed to, you know, doing the day trading or something like that. You know, it's just something on the back end. But
no, I'm just writing this down because I'm getting good ideas from people in the chats. They want to know. They want me to have a blackboard in the back of the small businesses, and then they want to have they want to do a show to where people that come on like give like I think she said I'll put a picture of it. Can we have a show geared towards people providing sites and establishment offering all these trades online on the net? So she wanted to know if there's sites and things that we can like put out.
Turnion.com is one. TERNION.com.
Okay.
It's Black owned and operated out of Toledo, Ohio. My uncle is actually on the board of directors for that trade school. So they're offering IT classes and trades. I can't think of the name of the church that's doing it, but they're doing that, senior housing, a bunch of other stuff. But they're trying to get kids back into these trades. You know, he's a master plumber, so yeah, they're really trying to get these kids back into trades. Also, on a side note, just to share with you, there's a site called Kingdom Use, a channel called Kingdom Useful, along with the Black Health and Wealth Show. But you inspired an adult conversation when you were talking about trades and coding. And this guy actually the guy from Kingdom Useful, his name is Trey Roberts, actually did an emergency message to you on this channel. And I didn't take offense to it, but I had some issues with some of the things that he brought up. So we actually, you know, reached out to one another, had a 4-hour conversation just discussing what's going on in this world. And there's got to be something, you know, and the other thing that is parents got to stop being afraid of these kids. Yeah. You know, and start telling them, you know, you can, you know, you're going to do, this is the way things are. I used to be a high school teacher, and Shout out to all teachers out there, because you got to play mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, cousin, and then try to teach.
Yes.
You know,
you guys got it hard, boy. I don't know how y'all do it.
My mother taught for 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, and just, you know, back to some of the other stuff that you talked about, she brought up that every time a black child is born, this is what she used to tell her male students. Every time a black child is born, they build another jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And like you mentioned earlier, you know, these for-profit prisons, if they don't have the bodies in there, then there's a problem. There's a documentary called Sugar Town, where they talked about where the sheriff on Friday nights would tell people to go nigger knocking, to go find people to put into jail so they could get money for those bodies being in the jail over the weekend, because they knew they weren't going to get out before Monday. You know, the judge in Pennsylvania who, you know, was taken off the bench because he was giving these folks these extreme sentences for minor offenses. I
heard about that.
Yeah, because he was getting a kickback and stuff from the prisons. So, and black folks have to understand that we're number 3 in population, but we're number 1 in prison sentences. Okay. So you gotta have.
So we getting a trade, not to cut you off. We getting the trade skills. It's just
right at 6 cents an hour, right? $6 a day, whatever. Yeah, you're getting it, but you're not being able to come out and use it anywhere. You know, and a lot of these folks, you know, who do have these convictions or records or whatever, really need to look into starting their own businesses. That's because that's the only way that you're going to make it, because nobody's really looking to hire you or hire you or pay you a decent salary.
Yeah, they hire them for the programs, because they have programs where give, you know, when I opened the restaurant, the first thing they said was, we'll give you a tax break if you hire a convicted felon. So 9 times out of 10, if they hire a convicted felon, they're just there for a tax break, and they're scared of them anyway.
Exactly.
And they waiting on you to do something wrong, so they get rid of you.
So they can get rid of you, and they'll still have a tax break because they did hire you. You know, so they'll say he just didn't work out. I mean, they do the same thing in the cannabis industry, where they offer, if you're going to hire people in an opportunity zone. Yes, I'm going to hire people in an opportunity zone, but what ends up happening is that by the time the dispensary or the grow facility gets built, those people aren't around anymore, or they're not waiting a year to get a job from you. So those applications are no good. You know, but there's a lot that we can do, and a lot that we can do together. And there's actually more good and honest and hardworking black folks, you know, that we get credit for. You know, and I just want to give you a shout out too for what you're doing with your kids. You know, being that father figure, being in that home, you know, guiding and all the other good stuff. I commend you and salute you for that.
Oh, I have my knockdown dragouts with my teenager. I tell him, like you say, this is a non-starter. Like this is what you must do. There's no
non-negotiable.
Yeah, this is a non-negotiable. I don't want to hear it. You got to get it done. So it is what it is.
Right. Well, like I said, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you soon. I've sent you a few emails. If you see email that says coding in capital letters 3 times, that's my email to you. And like I said, that conversation between Trey and I is on that Kingdom Useful website.
I got it written down right now. I'm gonna go check it out. I can check it out while I'm on the tractor. I'll just
it'll be on the Black Health. It'll be on the Black Health and Wealth show. I'm doing some additional edits that he didn't do. Some stats and stuff that I'm adding to it that I think will polish it up a little bit.
And is this your channel right here, Black Health and Wealth Show?
Black Health and Wealth Show is all me.
Okay.
Black Health and Wealth Show, Money Wise Group, Leafy Pros, all 3 of those are all me. And
y'all go subscribe.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go launch 8R Vets because we're going to be doing transitional housing for veterans and transitional housing for veterans and mental health stuff for veterans.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate your time, my brother. Appreciate you.
Yep. And I'll be catching up with you soon. And good luck next week. Can't make it, but We didn't send shoes in time, but I know that shoes will always be needed.
Oh yeah, trust me.
More than next week. So we'll get those down to you.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, now y'all.
All
Be
right.
easy. Peace and love.
Yes, sir.